Konnichiwa! Well, here it is, my new set of wheels in Japan. Look at that thing. It's got a basket on the front, Mary Poppins style. You're also going to see this thing on the handlebars, and that is actually for holding an umbrella and for rainy weather. Little holster on the back. It was kind of hard for me to find a bicycle here in Japan. Everything was just slightly, the frames and the tires were just a little bit, not maybe a notch or two too small for me. It was funny. I would see myself in the reflection test driving some of these bicycles, and it kind of reminded me of the bear that you would see at a circus riding around on a tricycle. But anyway, I got lucky with this one. I went down to a local mom and pop bike shop, and it was actually a mom and pop bike shop. I mean, it was an older couple that owned it. They had a bike that I wanted. I wanted to sleep on it a couple days. I went back and it was gone, but in its place was this one. So I was happy to have it, and it will definitely serve me well. But welcome to my neighborhood in Hiroshima, Japan, Hiroshima. And I thought I'd give you a tour. Here it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. Nice, sunny, clear, crisp day. So I thought I'd jump on my new bike here and give you a little bit of a tour of the neighborhood sites here. I'm going to do a bunch of videos about things in my daily life, but here's the first thing, my neighborhood. Up there, that big building on the left is my apartment building, and I was fortunate to be able to live in there as I wait for my first day of school, which is in just a couple days. This building you're seeing up on the left also, this is called an onsen, which for the Korea folks out there, in Korea they have a similar establishment called a jjimjilbang, and in there you're going to have the saunas, steam rooms, you know, the different temperature baths that you can sit in. They're really popular. Also in Japan, they're very popular. I haven't had a chance to go in there, but definitely going to try it out since it is right next door to me. Still getting used to people in Japan drive on the opposite side of the road than what I am used to, so I have to look both ways a few times. Alright, as we delve into the neighborhood behind me, here we see a little, looks like a nursery school of some sort. Maybe, I don't know if it's an elementary school, they're pretty young kids. On the left here is the parking lot for the onsen. Got some abandoned buildings up there. Someone had mentioned that maybe they weren't earthquake proof, so I think they're being upgraded before they reopen. I really like this neighborhood. You get to see some really cool style houses and also a bunch of cool cars. The cars in Japan, that's the first thing that I really stood out to me, first thing that I noticed. The different styles and everything that we're not really accustomed to. Right here on the right you see a light blue, what's called a K car, a little compact car. I think they get some kind of tax break or something. You'll see a little yellow license plate on them for having a very small, low gas guzzling car. So here are some of the nice homes in this neighborhood, and this is what they kind of look like. Very efficiently placed because space is limited. So as I peruse down these nicely groomed streets, also you're going to see right here on the left, this would be the vehicle that I would drive if it was about 2 or 3 sizes larger. But look at that, that's pretty cool. That's a nice ride. Just a little bit too small for me to ride in. This is a nice neighborhood. There are several schools in this general location within a few miles. You're going to see homes, nice homes that have nice cars. I see BMWs, Lexus driving around. Of course, a Prius right there. That says it all. I see a lot of Toyotas, a lot of Suzukis, but also a lot of Mazdas. And why do I see a lot of Mazdas? Because Hiroshima is where Mazda was founded. There's a Mazda museum, gives kind of the whole lineage and historical background of that company. The awesome car company that gave us the rotary engine in the RX-7, RX-8. So I see a lot of Mazdas here. Now this big old building on the coming up here, as soon as I cross the street, red light. This is a community center. It basically has a bunch of different activities and sports you can do in there. There's a pool, there was a room dedicated to a ping pong tournament and badminton tournament, which are very popular sporting activities throughout Asia, actually. Very popular in Japan as well. Also popular when I was in Korea, especially in these community centers. They have a karate class here for kids. No judo at this one, but maybe 15 minutes away is another community center that has judo. The way the memberships work at this one is a little bit unique, and it could be a good thing or bad thing depending on your lifestyle and your schedule. Basically, you pay for a workout session or usage of the community center for a given activity. So if there's 10 different activities, you can choose one and you pay for that. If you want multiple activities, access to the fitness room, maybe access to the pool, they stack those payments. Then if you want to get a bundle of them, they'll sell you 11 sessions for the price of 10. So one session is like $5, and then you can get 11 of them for like $50. Now right up here in front of me is this beautiful, solid, expressionless wall. And what this is it's a barrier, a protective barrier. So I'm going to go and show you what it's a protective barrier for. I'm going to park my hog here. And basically, if you look on a map at Hiroshima, you're going to see that it's kind of like the city surrounds a bay, and this is the bay right here, or like a gulf. So these barriers here are for protecting this property and the city in general against severe weather that would bring waves and things like that, washing everything away. This is oceanfront property here. You gotta take care of it. And there are some of the berries. You'll see those little things. They kind of look like gigantic, massive jacks. Those toys, you bounce the ball, you grab the jacks. That's what they kind of look like. Water here is very clean. There's no trash or anything like that. It's very nice. This nice older gentleman here was trying to speak to me, but he doesn't realize yet that Nihongo ga wakarimasen. And then you have this classic Japanese style sign. Curb your dog. Don't let him poop on your popsicle or whatever that was. Shovel. It looked like a shovel. So that's it. Protective barrier for this oceanfront property. So getting back onto the Harley here, I've got 3 gears on this. Boom. I'm about to pick up some serious speed here on the boardwalk. My 2nd gear. It's a nice bike I got. Cost me about $100. Got all the fixings on it. Now these homes here, ironically, they're on the ocean, but they basically just see a cement wall. But still, you have easy access to be able to walk around on the water. You saw that kind of like a walkway that you can peruse. You can sit down. One of my neighbors here, who is a teacher, had a picnic out there with her husband. So as you would imagine, Japan, even in a non-touristy central area like this neighborhood, which is mainly a sleepy neighborhood, families, schools, everything is well kept, and the fit and finish is really nice. Here you see, I think it's probably a high school. If not, then it's junior high. On the left, I always see the kids out there playing baseball. And ironically, baseball and soccer, or depending on what country you're from, you might call it football, those are the two big sports here. Everybody loves baseball. They got a professional baseball team in Hiroshima. Soccer, I see a professional basketball team. Things like that are really popular in Japan. But I think the two biggies are soccer and baseball. And this little park here, it's not really like a park, but it is a place I guess you could go just walk your dog, just walk around, get your daily walk in or jog or something like that. So you can't go there and play a game of baseball or softball or something like that. Now on the right, I'm going to go up here and take a right to show you what's going on there. But before I do, on your left, you're going to see this big building here with the blue tinted barriers on the patio. And if you're from South Florida, per chance, that reminds me of this huge condo that went up on A1A at Atlantic in Pompano Beach. I think it was called Aqua something. So I saw that, it reminded me of home a little bit. If you're from Pompano Beach, put your hands in the air. All right, now this is kind of cool to me. This is like a marina, but it's like a parking lot for boats. Not really a marina per se where they're in the water. My guess is, and probably somebody could tell me, but my guess is that they're kept above water, out of the water. But I would think that it's so if there's really bad weather, like a typhoon or something comes through, that the boats don't end up smashing into each other, damaging each other. So that's my guess. If it's different and you're in Japan or you are experienced in Japanese intricacies of culture, let me know. As we go up here, a lot of these apartment buildings are being renovated. As I just move in here, I noticed that they're being renovated. A lot of units, individual units are being renovated. I think they're turning them into condo, what we would call a condo or a co-op, depending on, maybe if you're in a big city like New York, they also have co-ops where you buy shares in the building and you're not really buying the unit itself per se. For example, in my apartment building, there are units that they're renovating or have been renovated that they're actually trying to sell. All right, coming around the corner here, you're seeing a bunch of students walking around. These kids right here look like probably junior high or something like that. But up here on the right is one of two shopping centers. They're like strip malls type of thing in our area that we can go to. The supermarket is in there. There's maybe a hardware store at one down by me, closer to my apartment building. This one here, inside, it's kind of decorated in the style of like a Whole Foods or something like that. That type of ambiance and layout and presentation. So it's a nice supermarket. Not the massive selection that you would find in, say, like a Publix in the South, or if you're up northeast, something like Market Basket or Stop and Shop or something like that. None of those super huge places with the overabundance of choices. But still good enough to get you by and to give you some selection. Alright, so I just wanted to take a dip through that little cul-de-sac there. Back on the main strip, one last look, supermarket. And across the street here, up, And here's another school. I'm not sure what that is. That's probably an elementary or middle school, junior high school, something like that. Students here, I see students with their uniforms on 7 days a week. Amazingly, one of my coworkers had mentioned that the students do go to school all week in some cases. Here's an elementary school here on the right. Boom, boom. Big curb there for some reason. You got to watch out you don't run over pedestrians. Here on the right, you're going to see some cherry blossoms, it looks like. And this is currently cherry blossom season as I speak. I plan on going to check out some of the sites, do a video whilst it's cherry blossom season. There's a community center on my left here. I'm going to go a different direction down here. There's an RX-8 on the right that I mentioned before with the rotary engine. Mazda in the house in Hiroshima. Little grouping of small shops here. You see these vending machines everywhere, by the way. They sell drinks, coffee, cigarettes, everything. Here's a rice shop. I'm not sure what's in there yet, but a little restaurant, suit place, small restaurant, and the thing here with the green sign, this is actually a tatami repair shop. I've biked past here a couple times on my way to work out, and I see them pulling apart these old tatamis. They're probably resurfacing them, patching up holes, because most houses here in Japan, they either have flooring, complete flooring of tatami, or there's at least a tatami room or something like that. Maybe they're making some mats for some judo people, who knows. Here's an interesting thing that came right at the end of the video here. I received a notice in my mailbox that I have mail or something of importance that I need to sign for. So I saw this parcel delivery or post office delivery girl, so I'm stopping. And why is it so important? Because I've been waiting to have my internet access hooked up for over 3 weeks. That's how long it took here in Japan for me to get internet access. And the answer? No, she was not the one. Heartbreak. I have to keep waiting to see what it was. A lot of great designs here with the homes. You see a lot of the modern textures and surfaces and angles and all that kind of stuff, but it's got the Japanese style, and they're really, like I said before, efficiently placed into these small house lots. So the Japanese politeness comes in very handy when you're basically right on top of your neighbor like that. You have to be quiet. There's the onsen again right there. Student up here. And on the right, as you may or may not recognize, is my apartment building. So we are back home. And on the left, you're going to see in the background those mountains. Hiroshima is good that way. It's got mountains on one side, it's got the water on the other side, so you get a good mix of things you can do. There's probably a lot of temples in these mountains, so maybe I'll go up and try to catch some of those sites. Looks like these are 2 restaurants. In fact, I think this one here is definitely a restaurant. I can't read anything yet. But it looks like it's that puffer fish, which is also very popular in Korea. The thing about this puffer fish soup, these things that blow up, they're poisonous. So you better make sure you have a trained chef who isn't disgruntled. Otherwise, you might not make it out of that restaurant. Okay, parking the hog here. This is a parking lot for bikes. You see these at everywhere you go. You're going to see restaurants, shopping centers, whatever department, they all have spaces for bicycles because everybody has a bicycle here in a place like Hiroshima. So here I am, back home. Got to make sure I duck my head everywhere I go, at least when I'm home. Thanks for watching. Sayonara.